What's going on, everybody? You can call me Wendy. Since this is our first time meeting, allow me to introduce ourselves. Faraway is a Project Fivel, a lifelong friend of mine, and I began back in late 2023 with the goal of making video games. Since then, we spent that time planning and procrastinating. We also met and enlisted the help of a third member, Finny. We're all students with a love of game development and games in general. So, earlier this year, we began brainstorming an idea for a small game idea before a bigger game that we'll talk about later. Something simple and fun. We got in a voice call and threw around some ideas, ultimately landing on a roguelite. We started out in Figma, but now mostly are using Trello to organize the project. The idea was a futuristic coliseum where gladiators would do battle, and it would play like a bullet hell roguelite. We gave it the title of Gladiator, subject to change. Let us know if you have any ideas. And as we brainstormed, we decided that the leveling up was going to be a little different for our game. Instead of simply leveling up to receive health, items, weapons, perks, and whatnot, each buff would be accompanied by a debuff. In order to balance this, debuffs and buffs would exist on tiers, separating the good stuff from the decent and the bad from the really bad, and pairing them respectively. The idea is that the player will have to maximize their buffs and minimize their debuffs in the way they play. For example, maybe you have a perk that makes it so that when you deal damage, you do twice as much damage, but you also take 1 hit point of damage. Now the next time you level up, if your upgrade options were more bullets or more damage, it might make more sense to choose more damage, as each bullet presents more opportunity to take damage. With the basic game loop and some mechanics decided upon, we briefly mulled over which engine to use, eventually deciding on Godot. For now, I would work on the player, Fivel would work on the menu and UI, and Finny would work on the enemy. Hopping in, I first added basic movement with the WASD keys and arrow keys. Next, I added a dash, although looking at it now, it likely needs to be a bit more exaggerated. While Finny worked on the enemy, getting it to chase the player. I made it so that if the enemy node was in attack range, the player would shoot a projectile at the enemy. Next, I had to expand this to include all enemy nodes present in the scene, setting the closest enemy variable to whichever instance was nearest the player. This was very easy and happened on the first try. After messing around and trying several different methods that did not work, I cried to Fivel's DMs about my code not working. Thank you, anonymous pastebin user. Your service will not be forgotten. Fivel worked on a first draft of the menu and began on a sleek inventory, while Finny worked on getting the enemy to also attack the player. That's about all we've done so far. In the next devlog, what I plan to have done is a melee attack and the groundwork for the upgrade system and inventory system. Fivel has taken a quick break from development to focus on school, but we'll continue to work on the game and update you guys whenever we have enough to show. This video was sponsored by our monthly supporters on Ko-Fi. Oh, there's nothing here. You can help this list by expanding it. If you like the idea for our game, want to support us in any way, you can either give a one-time donation or subscribe monthly for exclusive updates, Discord perks, free merchandise when it comes out, and more, depending on your tier. If not, still, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next developer log.